The following is a presentation of the North American Basketball League, brought to you by 805 Stats and the NABL Network. Welcome to Championship Sunday in the North American Basketball League. It is the NABL Finals. The championship game is here, and we are setting up an amazing matchup between the 14-0 Eastern Conference champions, the Atlanta Show, taking on the 11-3 Western Conference champions, the Dallas Hoyas. Today, the first ever NABL champion will be crowned here at the court at the Cedar Valley College in Dallas, Texas. So glad you are here with us on this Championship Sunday afternoon. My name is Ken Buckner, bringing you the action today between the Atlanta Show and the Dallas Hoyas, here live at NABLlive.com, all across the NABL network. For the Atlanta Show, led by NABL Coach of the Year, David Kessler, it was a come-from-behind win yesterday in the semifinal round of the NABL Championship Series as they defeated the Austin Knights 117-106, keeping their perfect season intact and their hopes and dreams of a championship in the NABL continuing. For the Dallas Hoyas, led by second-year head coach Paul Parker, they manhandled the Savannah Cavaliers yesterday in the semifinal round, 137-110, and it really truly wasn't even that close when it came down to it. So it sets up the championship game everybody expected to see, the Atlanta Show and the Dallas Hoyas. Opening ceremonies, starting lineups, and more coming up just moments from now here at NABLlive.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you at this time to please rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor America, performing America the Beautiful. Please welcome Debbie Kirkchin. And ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to remain standing as we welcome to the court Shereen Campbell and the champion of our national team. Shereen Campbell once again in the performance of our national anthem. Well, ladies and gentlemen, basketball fans, are you ready for Championship Sunday? Here are your starting lineups for the Western Conference champion, Dallas Hoyas. Starting at point guard, standing at 6'4" out of the University of Oregon, NABL MVP Most Valuable Player, Bruce Barrett. Starting at shooting guard, out of Stephen F. Austin University, standing at 6'6", number 10, Zach Downing. At small forward, out of Mississippi State University at 6'5", number 0, CJ Carter. At power forward, wearing the lucky number 7, standing at 6'7", out of East Texas Baptist University, Melvin Allen. And the big man in the center, 6'9" from McNeese State University, Jarvis Bradley. The head coach of the Hoyas is Paul Parker. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Eastern Conference champions, riding high on a 14-0 perfect season. Here are your starting 5 for the Atlanta Show. At point guard, at 6'3", out of Point University, number 21, Bernard Parks. Starting at shooting guard, at 6'3", out of the University of Indianapolis, number 22, Corey Zachary. At small forward, out of Savannah State University, 6'5", number 7, Josh Montgomery. At power forward, out of Atlanta Metropolitan College, standing tall at 6'9", number 25, Marcus Johnson. And at center, 6'6", it is number 11, Antoine Hall. The head coach of the show, NABL Coach of the Year, David Kessler. Well, back here at the court of Cedar Valley College in Dallas, Texas. Good afternoon, everybody. It is the NABL Championship Finals game between the 14-0 Eastern Conference champion Atlanta Show and the 11-3 Western Conference champions Dallas Hoyas. The matchup we thought we would get before the season ever started. And we are underway as Marcus Johnson wins the tip for the Atlanta Show, and they maintain possession. Bernard Parks takes a 3-ball right off the bat and sinks it good. Bernard Parks from downtown. Bruce Barron on the other side for the Hoyas. Down low to C.J. Carter, starting from the small forward position. He tries to go from the left side, just short on the lay-in. And the Atlanta Show start running the other way. Bernard Parks once again jacks up a 3, and that's off the front of the rim and finds its way in. The ball is bouncing the direction of Atlanta as Bruce Barron starts to grin in a little bit of amazement here. First whistle of the game. Going to be called on Atlanta Show's Marcus Johnson, number 25 in the yellow jerseys on your screen. Atlanta Show foul, number 25, Marcus Johnson. Atlanta on your screen wearing the yellow jerseys with blue numbers. Show written across the front as Jarvis Bradley sinks his first bucket of the game. 6-2, Hoyas down by 4 as we begin in the first minute here of action. And Bruce Barron picks up the first foul on the Hoyas' behalf. Dallas foul number 55, Bruce Barron. Dallas Hoyas wearing their trademark black jerseys with red outline numbers. And that Dayglow Hoyas across the top. The animal prints along the backside. Corey Zachary to the line for the Atlanta Show to shoot 2. Zachary, a major contributor in yesterday's effort for the Atlanta Show in their 117-106 victory over the Austin Knights. Came in late into the game in the early fourth quarter comeback that the Atlanta Show mounted against the Austin Knights. Missing both. And we may have a lane violation. So Zachary misses both attempts from the charity stripe, and it's back to the Hoyas. Right to left on your screen, live from Cedar Valley College in Dallas, Texas. Corey Zachary picks up his first for the Atlanta Show. Atlanta foul number 22, Corey Zachary. Bruce Barron inbound. C.J. Carter to the far side. In the corner, fakes a shot, gets an open lane, creates a shot, and he's fouled on the way up by Marcus Johnson. C.J. Carter will head to the line and shoot 2 for the Hoyas. Atlanta Show early in this one, 10:44 still left on the clock in the opening frame. Up 6-2 on the Hoyas. At the line for the Hoyas, C.J. Carter. Shooting foul on number 25, Atlanta, Marcus Johnson. And C.J. drains his first. And into the game for the first time for the Atlanta Show is Norm Stewart. They will use both teams, their benches, frequently and often throughout the game. When it comes to the matchups in these two teams, well, they mirror each other quite a bit. As C.J. misses second, but it's rebounded by Jarvis Bradley. Right back to C.J. Carter to Melvin Allen on the left far side. No good from beyond the arc. And it's rebounded by Norm Stewart, and he gets tripped up a little bit. Jarvis Bradley credited with that foul. Dallas foul number 11, Jarvis Bradley. So the whistle making its sound a frequent contributor early in this matchup here between the Atlanta Show and the Dallas Hoyas. Your NABL officials for today's game. Keith Kimball is the crew chief. Johnny Wilkins and Derek Barnes make up the trio of referees. Norm Stewart from the left side, air ball, misses the net completely. And that's rebounded by Melvin Allen, kicked over to C.J. Carter, back to Bruce Barron. Zach Nowding getting the start from the number 2 spot. Tries to go along baseline, and that one's tipped out of bounds. Josh Montgomery gets a hand on it for Atlanta and sends it out of bounds along the baseline. It'll remain Hoyas ball with 13 seconds left to play on the shot clock. 10-11 left on the game clock here as we are just underway in the first quarter of action. 6-3, Atlanta up. C.J. Carter Down low to Jarvis Bradley. This is where the Hoyas can make their money today. Jarvis Bradley cannot connect, but a beautiful post spin move. When you size up these two teams, as Norm Stewart runs the other direction for the show, over to Antoine Hall from way downtown, and that switch swirls off the top of the rim, no good. Bruce Barron driving from the right side, takes a hard foul. Going to be called on Antoine Hall. And Bruce, in that cutting style, driving hard to the basket, picks up his first. Atlanta show shooting foul, number 11, Antoine Hall. At the line to shoot for the Hoyas, Bruce Barron. So Bruce Barron's first trip to the line. And he's good on his first. Well, as I was saying, the matchups between these two teams, both sport deep benches filled with quality depth. First team starters is Melvin Allen. Takes the rebound and puts it in himself. And the Hoyas have tied it up 6-all with 9:38 left to play in the first. Both teams sport 1 through 15 first team quality players. Excellent coaching on both benches by Paul Parker of the Hoyas and David Kessler of the Atlanta Show. And the point guard matchup today will be something to watch between Bernard Parks, who's just about to inbound the ball for the Atlanta Show after the reach-in foul by C.J. Carter. And Bruce Barron, although C.J. right now is stationed on Bernard Parks. Corey Zachary from behind the arc knocks that off the inside of the rim, and the Atlanta Show are back up by 3. 9-6 here with 9:20 left to go in the first quarter of play. Here the NABL championship game will crown a champion for the first time in this league's history today. Ball swatted away by Josh Montgomery. That is picked up, but mishandled by Corey Zachary, and Zach Downing has a free shot from beyond the arc, but slamming it in with the rebound. Our first poster dunk of the day from C.J. Carter, and that's what he's become known for. Corey Zachary, he drains one, Bernard Parks drains one from way downtown as well. And it's a track meet now, 12-8 Atlanta Show. 8:40 left to go in the first. C.J. Carter posting up, moving down low, falling back on the fadeaway, no good, off the back iron. Picked up by Josh Montgomery. Hands it to Bernard Parks. Takes a three again. He may be feeling it. That went a little bit off the mark. Saving it from out of bounds is Josh Montgomery, but he gives it right back to the Hoyas. Here comes Bruce Barron, driving to the left side. A little too much juice on that, and it rolls off the side of the rim, saving it from going over the backcourt line. C.J. Carter heads up play in great positioning. C.J. Carter for three. Swoosh! The Nets. 12-11 now. Atlanta with a 1-point lead. 8 minutes flat left to play. Antoine Hall, the big man, once again short on the three-point attempt. Rebound by Melvin Allen. That's his second board of the day. Melvin Allen getting the start from the power forward position. Jarvis Bradley shot short once again from the low post. And now the Atlanta Show are running. Mishandling the ball and pass on that one, and likewise so are the Hoyas. And it's a bit of a scramble as Antoine Hall ultimately comes up with it. And Josh Montgomery knocks it from downtown. The three ball is well and alive today. 7:20 left to go, 15-11. And here come the substitutions for the Atlanta Show. Knocking it from downtown, Bruce Barron, your MVP. Trading balls from behind the arc from both squads. 15-14 Atlanta, driving the lane is Bernard Parks, and he rainbows a runner in. 17-14, Atlanta up by 3. 6:51 left to go in the first, and that one is picked away by Josh Montgomery. Corey Zachary running from the left side, and he misses the block, but fouled incredibly hard by Melvin Allen. By C.J. Carter. And that'll be C.J.'s second. And send Zachary to the line. Timeouts, Atlanta. Well, it'll be a 60-second timeout called by David Kessler. And the Atlanta Show, 17-14. The Atlanta show up by 3, and Corey Zachary heading to the line after a dunk attempt that was stymied by C.J. Carter. You see right there talking to the NABL official Johnny Wilkins. That is assistant coach of the Atlanta show, Rod Kirshner, also co-owner of the franchise. And last night it was an excellent evening for the NABL, the first ever season reception and NABL awards ceremony. And in that night, the Coach of the Year award was handed to David Kessler of the Atlanta show. And likewise, the MVP award was handed out to Bruce Barron of the Dallas Hoyas. And Corey Zachary will prepare to take his 2 free throw attempts from the charity stripe. Dallas Hoyas shooting foul. Number 0, C.J. Carter. At the line for 2 for Atlanta, Corey Zachary. When it comes to deciphering the discrepancies and differences between these two ball clubs and how they play the game, really it comes down to 2 things. Atlanta tends to play a faster, more up and down style of pace. A bit more of a running team, as Corey Zachary is good on one of his 2. Dallas has a stronger post presence down low. But Norm Stewart right now into the game for the show as Bruce Barron drives and is short on the attempt, but he's fouled on the way up. Foul on number 6, Charles Sims. I believe they are calling that a Miles Whitehurst. Atlanta show number 10. Bruce Barron, regardless, 2 from the line. And Bruce Barron's 3 for 3 so far as DeMario Black comes in, the 6th man of the year, essentially, for the Atlanta show. And a key contributor, a spark plug, definitely, in the Atlanta show's comeback yesterday, win over the Austin Knights, 117-106. Barron good for 2 from the line. It's a 2-point ball game. Atlanta up 18-16. Juwan Burden floats one in, and C.J. Carter picks up his 3rd. Dallas Hoyas shooting foul. Shooting 1 from the line for Atlanta, Juwan Burden. And substitutions into the game for the Atlanta show. Norm Stewart, as we said, Miles Whitehurst, Juwan Burden currently at the line, and DeMario Black. Into the game, fresh legs for the Hoyas, LaDarren Williams, defensive specialist. No good on the 3-point and 1 attempt. So with 6:20 to go here left in the first, 20-16. Hoyas down by 4. Storming the side of the lane and slamming it down, C.J. Carter. 20-18 now. Hoyas trail by 2. Norm Stewart from the corner, guarded by Jarvis Bradley. Stewart has a long-range game, and he does sink the 3 over the 6'9" frame of Jarvis Bradley. Bruce Barron inside, beautiful pass and assist to Jarvis Bradley. And that is your NABL MVP right there with that dish. Juwan Burden from way long range. And C.J. Carter picking up yet another foul. Dallas Hoyas shooting foul. Number 0, C.J. Carter. At the line to shoot 3 for Atlanta, Juwan Burden. So that's quite a costly penalty for the Hoyas, as that puts C.J. Carter in early foul trouble here in the first quarter. As Juwan Burden sinks his first free throw. And Juwan Burden, as the Mop-up continues here on the floor a little bit on a wet spot inside the right of the lane. Alonzo Butler in for the Hoyas. And Terrence Sion making his first appearance. Terrence Sion had a very good game, as well did most of the Hoyas in a 137-110 shellacking of the Cavaliers of Savannah yesterday. Juwan Burden misses his second of three. So that is 4 fouls on C.J. Carter, which will definitely factor into how Paul Parker uses his bench today. And we might be talking about that bullet point later on in the second half. So 2 of 3 from the line for Juwan Burden, and that drives the lead to 4 for the Atlanta Show. 24-20, 5:37, and ticking here in the first quarter. Bruce Barron underneath to Zach Downing with the spin, and just a little bit too much, bounces off the inside. Rebound by Alonzo Butler, and he's going to try it himself, and he is fouled in the process. Miles Whitehurst picking up the shooting foul on behalf of Atlanta. Atlanta shooting foul number 10, Miles Whitehurst at the line for Dallas. Shooting 2, Alonzo Butler. Alonzo Butler, one of the veterans of the Dallas Hoyas team, was part of their championship run in another league, as that one somehow escapes from the inside of the net. Part of the championship team from a former league that the Hoyas experienced and enjoyed last season. Butler good on his second. And it's a 4-point ball game once again, 25-21 Atlanta. Juwan Burden running, setting the offense. DeMario Black trails to his left. Zach Downing shadowing. Long-range shot off the mark, well off the mark, off the side of the hoop by DeMario Black, and that one is picked up by LaDarren Williams. Terrence Sion trying to get it across the line, and he does with the help of Bruce Barron. Barron underneath the Zach Downing, working that low post. And they're going to call offensive foul, pushing off on Zach Downing. Dallas foul number 10, Zach Downing. DeMario Black did an excellent job at getting his feet set. Juwan Burden running the points. Terrence Sion in pursuit. Underneath, beautiful baseline pass, well short and under as DeMario Black has got a little bit of an off start to his game. 2 huge high steps by Bruce Barron as that ball is tipped up and eventually collected by Atlanta and Norm Stewart. Long range pass to DeMario Black all alone, and he sinks it when left to his own devices from behind the arc. 4:23 left to go in the opening frame. 28-21. Atlanta stretches their lead by 7. And David Kessler right now giving a bit of an earful to Keith Kimball of the officiating crew. And the Hoyas will retain possession as Bruce Barron lost the handle, but apparently with a slight assist on that play by Bernard Parks. As we said, that is one of the matchups to watch and fully enjoy in today's game. Number 55, Bruce Barron of the Hoyas. Number 21, Atlanta shows Bernard Parks, MVP winner and MVP runner-up for the NABL in this 2016 season. Ball will be inbounded from the baseline by Zach Downing as David Kessler is looking for a little more clarification on previous calls by the NABL officiating staff of Keith Kimball, Johnny Wilkins, and Derek Barnes. That freezes things currently here. 4:06 left on the clock and some floor maintenance. So we will step aside for just a moment here on the NABL network. 28-21, the Atlanta Show lead the Dallas Hoyas in the NABL championship game. 25. Hoyas trail by 5, and we got a whistle on the play. Now going to be called on LaDarren Williams, picks up his first. And a timeout on the floor. Timeout Dallas Hoyas. Timeout on the floor. Well, Paul Parker, taking his first timeout. We've seen him do it much sooner in games where the Hoyas trail. But anticipation, when talking to both coaches and staff last night, they both had the inkling that this was going to be a very close contest. So you may need those as you draw towards the end of a half. 2:42 on the clock left to play here in the opening quarter of the NABL's 2016 championship game. It's been a good one so far. The Atlanta Show lead by 5, 30-25 over the Hoyas. And after the reach-in foul by LaDarren Williams, it is Atlanta Show ball. Bernard Parks to Norm Stewart from beyond the arc, and that one drains its way down the tube. Oh my, they are knocking them from downtown today on the Atlanta side. Darius Howard getting his first minutes of the game in at point guard for the Hoyas. Also seeing action for the first time is Derek Fain, who just received the ball from Darius Howard. Picks that up by Terrence Sion inside the arc. Shot off the back iron, no good by Fain. Collected by Demario Black, and he crosses the center stripe. Running his way, trying to find a lane, but he finds an open Josh Montgomery, who finds an even more open Norm Stewart, who once again from downtown hits the tray ball. 1:50 left to go in the first quarter. The Hoyas are getting killed by Atlanta from beyond the arc, 36-25. The lead is 11 now. Down underneath to Darius Howard, who's got the size that most point guards do not. Turns around, a fadeaway jumper. A little too much on that, and it bounces off the inside part of the rim. 1.5 left to play in the first. Bernard Parks finds an opening, but there was LaDarren Williams to stop him. Still off the left side using the glass. Bernard Parks and the Atlanta Show are showing off. Darius Howard walking his way down the far side. 1:10 left to play in the first. Floats one over, and that one is picked off by Josh Montgomery. Demario Black, watch out. Little too short on the shot. 1 minute, final minute of the first quarter. 38-25. Oh my goodness. 40-25. My mistake. 15-point advantage for the Atlanta Show, and another quick timeout by the Hoyas. Timeouts, Hoyas. Well, in what remained for the better part of 9 minutes of this opening quarter, a very close affair, trading buckets back and forth. Atlanta Show maintaining their advantage throughout the entirety of the first quarter up to this point. Still, the Hoyas keeping it very close, 1-point game here and there. It has now been a cavalcade of 3 balls by Bernard Parks, Demario Black, Norm Stewart, and the Atlanta Show has driven their lead to 15, 40-25, under a minute to go here in the opening quarter of play. Coach Paul Parker using a second timeout of the quarter and trying to stop the bleeding and get his team back into it. And back on the floor for the Hoyas. And now it looks like Bruce Barron will remain on the bench. But with 48 ticks left on the clock here in the first quarter. For the Hoyas, Terrence Sion will inbound. Darius Howard at the point. Antonio Burns making his first appearance of the game. Long-range specialist who had a hot hand yesterday against the Savannah Cavaliers. Kevin Thomas Sr., and Derek Fain. So, a bevy of guards and a power forward in Scion. Driving on the right side of the lane and the foul. Count the bucket. And headed to the line is Darius Howard. And Josh Montgomery picks up a shooting foul. Atlanta shooting foul number 7, Josh Montgomery. At the line for the and one opportunity, Darius Howard. And an extremely rare miss at the line by Darius Howard, but a rebound collected by Terrence Scion. 35 seconds left to go. And a travel called on Terrence Scion. He had 2 of those called in the game yesterday against Savannah. So 34 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 40-27. Hoyas down by 13. As they set up their half-court defense. Here comes Bernard Parks. Difference of just about 9.5 between the game clock and the shot clock. Antonio Burns trying his valiant effort to get the ball on a steal. Ends up earning the foul instead. Dallas Hoyas foul, number 6, Antonio Burns. And that'll set Norm Stewart up for 2 at the free throw line. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Shot clock is dead. 40-27. 41-27 Atlanta show. And right now it is the Atlanta bench that is outplaying the Dallas bench. 42-27. Atlanta putting 42 points on the board in the opening quarter. Whoa. Kevin Thomas spinning around trying to find somewhere to go with 10 to shoot. And an air ball from beyond the 3, but collected by Darius Howard, and he misses the rim too. Ball is tipped by Bernard Parks, but collected by Antonio Burns, and the clock expires before a shot is attempted. And that'll do it after 1. 42-27. The Atlanta show up big and up early on the Dallas Hoyas. After the first quarter of play, the Atlanta show lead 42-27 over the Dallas Hoyas. Well, with the second quarter of play coming up in just a matter of seconds, you may be able to hear from my microphone the voice of Paul Parker, head coach of the Hoyas, carrying. Just reading facial expressions alone, I don't see one of angst or of worry, but I do see a lot of pointing and scheming. Because it is all Breaking Bad in the last 2 minutes for the Dallas Hoyas. Just about to kick off the second quarter of action. 42-27, Atlanta show up. As the buzzer sounds, and we're about to get back at it here. Well, we knew going in that both teams were expected to be in the finals. Even the preseason picks and all the prognostication by the experts had the Atlanta show winning the East and the Dallas Hoyas winning the West. Well, here we are today. I did not expect to see a 42-27 Atlanta show lead after 1. And we're back underway. It is Hoyas ball here to kick off the second quarter. Bruce Barron sets things up from the center. Working his offense. Into the game. Paul Parker going big. Bruce Barron attacking from the left side on the baseline. Count that one in. He wanted a foul, but he didn't get anything more than just the bucket. 42-29, 11-34. We're just underway here in the second quarter of play. In for the Hoyas, Jarvis Bradley once again, LaDarren Williams. And I mentioned a big lineup is long range, counted good for Bernard Parks, who has been on fire from beyond the arc. 45-29. Lead is 16. Kevin Thomas tries to answer, and that one rolls off the top of the rim, but that is rebounded, but falling out of bounds is who I was alluding to. 6'10" out of Oral Roberts University, Kevin Ford. He is number 20 in the Hoyas jersey. 11 minutes flat left to go in the first half. DeMario Black from three. Oh my. Pouring on the pain from long range. 48-29. The Hoyas are stunned. Bruce Barron says enough of that, but off the back iron and over the top foul called on Kevin Ford. He picks up his first in his first few seconds of action. Dallas Hoyas foul, number 20, Kevin Ford. So that'll give the ball right back to the Atlanta show. 10:37 left to play in the second quarter. 48-29, Norm Stewart from long range. That one falls just outside the basket. Kevin Thomas on the run from the left side, and he is fouled on his way up by Norm Stewart. Well, foul credited to the Atlanta show's Bernard Parks. Atlanta show shooting foul, number 21, Bernard Parks. At the line for the Hoyas, Kevin Thomas. So Kevin Thomas will try to chip away at this Atlanta show's sizable lead. Trims it to 18. Now 17-point lead, 48-31. 10:23 and ticking here in the second. Bernard Parks, Kevin Thomas guarding. Bernard Parks tosses over to Josh Montgomery. Over to the far side to Burden. Burden back to Montgomery, over to DeMario Black, who waits for a flying Kevin Ford to pass and misses the shot from beyond the three, but collected by Norm Stewart. Montgomery back to Burden. Burden drives the lane, kicks it out to Bernard Parks from the corner, and that one hits nothing but backboard. 10 minutes even left to go, 48-31. Here come the Hoyas. From the side, Kevin Thomas, a little short, and it rolls off the top of the rim. Long range pass to DeMario Black, fires from beyond the arc, and that one is short as well. And now nobody can hit a three to save their life. Kevin Thomas running back, hands it to LaDarren Williams, who drives the lane, looks for an outlet, Kevin Ford, and it's volleyball season right there, collected by Josh Montgomery of the Atlanta show. 9.5 left to play in the first half, 48-31 Atlanta. And driving the lane on the way in. And that is a foul. Illegal defense, I believe. Yes, illegal defense called on the Hoyas. Illegal defense technical foul on the Dallas Hoyas. So Norm Stewart will shoot an unobstructed free throw after the illegal defense called on Kevin Ford, possibly Jarvis Williams. I saw the T. I did not see the number that they issued it to. So 49-31. Atlanta just a point shy of hitting halfway mark to the century point. Inbounds pass to Antoine Hall back in the game for the Atlanta show. Over to Bernard Parks at the point. Bernard Parks pull up, Jay. And contacts provided courtesy of LaDarren Williams sends Bernard Parks back to the line. Dallas shooting foul, number 25, LaDarren Williams. Shooting two from the line for Atlanta, Bernard Parks. So in the insult to injury phase, Bernard Parks goes to the line. And it's true on his first. 50-31. A 19-point lead. Bernard Parks trying to make it an even 20. Back onto the floor for the Hoyas after incurring a quick 4 fouls in the first quarter as Bernard Parks does sink his second, 51-31. And Kevin Ford cannot grab the long pass. Norm Stewart, this is over to Antoine Hall. Back underneath, and it misses Norm Stewart, but collected by Bernard Parks, who was there as a safety net. 9:05 left to play, 51-31 Atlanta. C.J. Carter back into the game, as I was saying, after 4 fouls in the first. And Alonzo Butler comes back into the game for Kevin Ford, who had a very tumultuous 3 minutes of action here to start off. Just a tick inside of the 9-minute mark, and Atlanta has notched 51 points already. Their offense sputtered to begin the game yesterday against the Austin Knights, ultimately winding up in a 117-106 victory on a fourth quarter comeback. But they are firing on all pistons today. Reach-in foul credited to Kevin Thomas. Dallas Hoyas foul, number 2, Kevin Thomas. And that puts Atlanta, of course, well into the bonus. At the line for his 2, Josh Montgomery. And Montgomery, true on his first attempt. Good on both from the charity stripe for Montgomery. 53-31, 8:55 left to go in the second quarter. Few could have predicted this outcome outside of the Atlanta show. Jarvis Bradley spinning from the low post underneath. Too much on it off the back iron. But a great save as it goes out of bounds and collected by Alonzo Butler. Bruce Barron ends it up with the ball in. What a move! Beautiful weaving and bobbing his way down the right side of the lane, Bruce Barron. Whistle on the play. Going to be credited to loose ball foul, a double foul. It looks like Josh Montgomery of Atlanta and Bruce Barron of the Hoyas picked up offsetting fouls. So in a way, no harm, 2 fouls. 8:26, long range by Bernard Parks, and he nods to the crowd saying, yes, that just happened. 56-33, you're watching a clinic, and oh, here comes the MVP to give his answer. 56-36, as the threes are raining inside of the court here at Cedar Valley College. And a battle for the ball. Called on Antoine Hall of Atlanta. And Bruce Barron, slow to get up, needs a little bit of assistance as he shakes it off. And that freezes things at 8:01 left to go here in the first half. 56-36. Hoyas still trail as they will do a little court maintenance. A reminder, fans, for coverage of the championship ceremony to the eventual winner of this contest, post-game interviews and insight behind-the-scenes interviews from the entire weekend of the NABL Championship Series. Make sure to tune in to the NABL Radio, The Backcourt, airing in just a few days, coming up this week at NABLbasketball.com. I'll also have some interviews and behind-the-scenes looks from the NABL awards ceremony and reception that took place last night. A black tie affair that was certainly enjoyed by all, and especially those that received end-of-the-year trophies. So 8 minutes flat left to go in the second. C.J. Carter gets some grip on his hands and goes from the left side. Dishes it over to Alonzo Butler. To Jarvis Bradley, back to Carter. Carter on the left wing and takes the shot. That's off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Alonzo Butler, who's apparently everywhere on the court. And finally put back in on the third chance opportunity. Great play underneath by Kevin Thomas. And the Hoyas trying to rally their own bench. 56-38, 7.5 left to go in the second. Bernard Parks kicks it over to his left to Josh Montgomery, who high steps his way and floats one off the backboard. 58-38, lead back to 20. 7:15 left to go. A pull-up three-pointer and a scream of exultation out of the mouth of Bruce Barron, and why not? 58-30, 58-41. And an errant pass hits nothing but cinder block. is the Hoyas trying to get a little bit of momentum back their direction. .702 left to play. 58-41, Atlanta show up by 17. Bruce Barron, long pass over to C.J. Carter on the near side. With a 20-footer, it is Alonzo Butler. Just a little bit too much on that effort. Rebound by Bernard Parks, who pulls one up from nearly Fort Worth, and that one is off the mark. C.J. Carter kisses it off the glass from the left side, and the Hoyas draw just a little bit closer, 58-43. 6.5 left to play in the second. Demario Black underneath in a beautiful play with Bernard Parks just parked along the baseline. 60-43. Yes, they've hit 60 points, Atlanta has, with over 6 left to go in the second. Alonzo Butler dishes to the top of the key to Kevin Thomas, who's having a great game, echoing his efforts from yesterday's matchup against Savannah. 15-point ball game now. 60-45 Hoyas. Bernard Parks kicks it out, almost intercepted on the way to Antoine Hall, but Josh Montgomery rattles it home. Count the 3 ball and count it up to 63-45. Well, 1 step forward, 2 steps back for the Hoyas in this one, as Atlanta show is showing off. Bruce Barron driving the lane, and that's going to be a travel called. Back into the game for Atlanta, Juwan Burden, and for the Hoyas, Terrence Sion. And a timeout credited on the floor, and we will take a timeout here on the NABL network. Back here with 5.5 left to go. 60 seconds, we'll be back to you. Our coverage of the NABL Championship Game Finals continues here at NABLlive.com and NABLbasketball.com all across the NABL network. My name is Ken Buckner. Thank you so much for taking in today's game. A moment 15 weeks in the making since the tip-off weekend of the NABL on April 30th. 5:36 left to play in the first half of action in the Atlanta show, since the final moments of the first quarter have taken flight and taken off. 63-45, they lead the Dallas Hoyas. Excellent shooting efforts and days from beyond the arc for Bernard Parks, Norm Stewart, Corey Zachary, Demario Black. They have been raining the 3 ball today on the side of the Atlanta show. 4 quick fouls in the first quarter for C.J. Carter, starting shooting guard for the Dallas Hoyas. Forced his exit early in the game, but he is now back. As we are ready to get back underway here on the court of Cedar Valley College in Dallas, Texas. Yes, the NABL Championship Trophy is here and high atop the stands of Cedar Valley College. That thing is heavy, by the way. Long pass over the hands and off the fingertips, out of reach of Antoine Hall. And a turnover by the Atlanta show gives the ball back to the Hoyas. 5:25 left to go in the second. 63-45 Atlanta show. Kevin Thomas on the left wing, over to Terrence Sion at the top of the key. Jarvis Bradley posting up, and he is pushed on the shot, and picking up the foul for Atlanta is Antoine Hall. Bradley will go to the line for 2. Atlanta show shooting foul, number 11, Antoine Hall. Shooting 2 from the line for the Hoyas, Jarvis Bradley. Corey Zachary into the game for the Atlanta show. It'll be Zachary, Whitehurst, Norm Stewart, Juwan Burden, and Demario Black. The 5 on the floor for Atlanta. And Jarvis Bradley sinks his second. So bit by bit, they try to eat their way back into it. 63-47, 5:10 left to go. And an errant pass once again, and that one off the hands of Miles Whitehurst. And the Hoyas may have just gotten a break there. It'll be their ball just inside the center stripe. Inbounds bounce pass to Bruce Barron with just 2 ticks over 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Terrence Sion driving from the right side. That's batted away by Miles Whitehurst. And the Hoyas will retain possession. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. 4:53 left in the game clock in the second quarter. Inbounds pass to Jarvis Bradley. Handed back to C.J. Carter. Pulls it up from the elbow, just to the left of the basket. No good. And that one bounces out of bounds on the rebound off an Atlanta Show player. And so the Hoyas get another chance with a fresh shot clock at their disposal. Kevin Thomas will inbound, and Kevin Thomas has certainly played a vital role in the thrashing of the Savannah Cavaliers yesterday. Long pass and a huge jump by C.J. Carter and punched out of his possession by Juwan Burden, and that earns him a reaching foul. Atlanta Show foul. Number 1, Juwan Burden. As the NABL officials get some clarification on how close we are to Dallas reaching the bonus, and it looks like they are 1 away. So that'll be an inbound to Bruce Barron from the right side along the baseline, and he needs help. Tries to find it in Terrence Sion, but that's tipped away by DeMario Black, and a scrum for the ball. And the Dallas Hoyas, Terrence Sion, will pick up another personal foul. Atlanta is in the bonus. Pardon me, no. My miscalculation on that. They're 1 away as well. 4 team fouls aside. 63-47, 4:36 left to go in the first half. It has been an onslaught of offense by the Atlanta Show. As a little bit of drying of the hardwood is done extremely well by Norm Stewart. Really putting his all into that effort. And it'll be Atlanta ball. Inbounded from the far sideline by Corey Zachary, and awaiting it is Juwan Burden. 16-point lead by the Atlanta Show right now. And we're back at it here from the court at Cedar Valley College, the NABL championship game. Burden down low to Marcus Johnson. Excellent effort, but too much off the glass, and it's rebounded by Bruce Barron, who's running, maintaining, dribbling, and underneath, and it falls through. A circus-style effort by C.J. Carter. Oh, my. Going to the line for the N1 opportunity. Sometimes gravity is your friend. Trying to draw it within 13. And Carter misses it, but tipped in off the rebound is Terrence Sion. They'll take the 2 over the 1. 63-51. Hoyas back within 12 now. Norm Stewart receives a long pass from Bernard Parks. And Norm Stewart finds an open lane, but he dishes it to the corner. Juwan Burden left alone, and he knocks it down for 3. Every time the Hoyas start chipping back, Atlanta shuts the door. 66-51, inside of 4 minutes, 3:53 left to go in the second. Left alone, 20-foot J from the baseline, no good for C.J. Carter. I think he was more stunned that he didn't have anybody on him. Over to Bernard Parks on the near side. Corey Zachary down under to Marcus Johnson. Flailing shot, no good. 3.5 left to play in the second. Jarvis Bradley finger rolls it in. Beautiful dish. 66-53, Atlanta up by 13. Bernard Parks spins, dishes down under, and that's tipped away by Terrence Scion. Excellent defensive effort and a great long distance pass to Bruce Barron. Kevin Thomas picks it up from behind the arc, and that one skims off the top of the rim. No good, and it's a 2-on-1 now. Dallas resetting, but leaving Norm Stewart alone, and also likewise left alone is Marcus Johnson, who picked up an easy rebound and an easy foul called on Jarvis Bradley. Dallas Hoyas foul number 11, Jarvis Bradley. So that is the 5th team foul and a shooting foul. So Marcus Johnson. So Marcus Johnson back to the line for the Atlanta show. Who for the better part of 2 quarters have played what is near a flawless game. But they are starting to allow Dallas to reach their way a little bit back into this one, as Johnson drops his first. Zach Downing back into the game for the Hoyas, in for Terrence Scion. Well, while things are calm, cool, and collected to my left on the Atlanta bench, it is a slightly hectic scene, controlled chaos, if you will, down the way to the Hoyas side. As a stuff by Bernard Parks on Kevin Thomas, and C.J. Carter picks up the rebound 2 times, cannot make it stick either. Norm Stewart looking for help. He's just going to do a pull-up J, and a little too much juice on that one off the back iron. Bruce Barron launches a pass to C.J. Carter, one-on-one on Corey Zachary. Picks up the foul. The shot does not fall, but Carter will head to the line to shoot 2. Atlanta show shooting foul, number 22, Corey Zachary. Shooting 2 for the Hoyas, C.J. Carter. And that halts the action here with 2:33 left to play in the first half. As C.J. Carter trains his first. Back into the game, Josh Montgomery for the Atlanta show. And he will sub in for Marcus Johnson. For the Hoyas, it is C.J. Carter at the line to shoot one more. Zach Downing, Jarvis Bradley, Kevin Thomas. And lagging back is Bruce Barron. As the ball trickles past the baseline. And into the game for C.J. Carter will be Darius Howard. Darius Howard, of course, his clutch performance as we are under 2.5 to go here in the second. As Jarvis Bradley picks up a shooting foul. Stops things with 2:23 left to go. And once again, sends the Atlanta show to the free throw line. Dallas Hoyas shooting foul, number 11, Jarvis Bradley. So I was saying the Darius Howard clutch performance at the end of just over 2 weeks ago, July 30th NABL playoff game. Hoyas down by 2, 3 seconds remaining, no timeouts. Half-court pass just past the center stripe, collected by Darius Howard, is fouled by a DFW United player. Heads to the line to shoot 2. And without hesitation, almost quicker than the referee wanted to ditch the ball back to him, sinks the 2 to send the Hoyas into overtime, ultimately winning 138-125. It is Montgomery at the line, and he knocks down his first. Josh Montgomery getting most of his opportunities from the charity stripe today, as Kevin Ford comes back in for the Dallas Hoyas. Kevin Ford's 6'10", but his wingspan is that of a 7-foot-tall player. Montgomery short on his second. A rebound by Kevin Ford. 68-54 Atlanta show lead by 14, 2:15 left to play in the first half. Darius Howard off the pick by Zach Downing. Downing with the ball. Underneath to Kevin Ford. Norm Stewart has no chance at blocking him. Down by 4 inches in that height differential. And there's the big man going to work underneath. That was one of our keys to the game in our pregame show. The Hoyas needed to exploit the lack of size underneath that the Atlanta show have, but that is how you answer such an effort with a 3 ball by Juwan Howard from the left wing, and that's 71-56, ladies and gentlemen. Lee's back up to 15. Bruce Barron driving the lane, finger rolls it in. That is a patented trademark move by the MVP of the NABL's inaugural season. 1:23 left on the clock in the second quarter. 71-58. Atlanta show on a flailing shot by Montgomery, no good. And here come the Hoyas the other way. 3-on-3, Bruce Barron's going to hang on to it. Picks up the foul with 1:08 left on the clock in the opening half. Bruce Barron a little slow to get off. And that will be charged on Juwan Burden. Atlanta show foul shooting. Foul charged the number 1, Juwan Burden. Headed to the line for the Hoyas, Bruce Barron. So Bruce Barron will try to draw this within 11, which would be the closest the Hoyas have been to the Atlanta show since late in the first quarter. Within 12, 71-59. But a rebound off the miss by Kevin Ford in long range. No good as Bruce Barron. And you pick them, it was 3 Atlanta show players that had the opportunity at that rebound. Bernard Parks dished it over to Juwan Burden in a double team underway, but that leaves Parks open from about 20. He needs help. He finds Corey Zachary, drives the lane, goes underneath, and misses Norm Stewart completely. And that hits the backing behind the goal. Hoya's ball. A miscue by the Atlanta show. (71-59). Atlanta up by 12. Kevin Thomas with the ball. Driving the lane from the right side. Off the square, no good. Batted around, and ultimately, while he's on the ground and calling timeouts, is Kevin Thomas. Heads up play. Timeouts, Hoyas. So with halftime just 30 seconds away, the Hoyas trying to claw their way into it. Well, you look at that scoreboard and you already see 71 points with just under 2 quarters of action for the Atlanta show. David Kessler, the NABL Coach of the Year. I don't presume to ever guess what's on his grease board or kind of plays he's calling, but I would just point to the last 10 plays and just say, just do that again, because that seems to have worked quite well today. A much more rallying approach for Paul Parker and the Hoyas as he barks some orders into the ears of Kevin Thomas, his veteran shooting guard, as they break huddle. 71-59 when we get back underway. It will be Hoyas ball. Baseline inbounds with 30 seconds left on the clock before we hit the break. Hoyas have been making up ground and trying to close the gap since about 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. And we're back underway here with Darius Howard looking for somewhere to go with the ball. Long pass to Kevin Thomas. 30 seconds even left to play in the opening half. So back to Darius Howard. Darius Howard with Bernard Parks shadowing. Inside the arc, and that's an in and out, no good. And a reach-in foul credited to Kevin Ford. And Atlanta is living life in the bonus, so that will send Norm Stewart to the line. Hoyas foul, number 20, Kevin Ford. So with 20 seconds left, drives the lead back up for Atlanta to 13 with 1 left to shoot from the charity stripe for Norm Stewart. And he does just that. 14-point lead, 20 to play. In what has been a long second quarter. Derek Fain from way behind the arc, and that one is short off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Corey Zachary, who's running his way. He wants to get a shot off. 6 seconds left on the clock. Looking for help. Long pass to the corner for Norm Stewart, who releases it. That one off the back iron, no good, and that will be the end of a very exciting and point-filled first half of play. 73-59. We head into halftime here with the Atlanta show up big on the Dallas Hoyas. More coming up, including the second half of action here live from the Cedar Valley College Court in Dallas, Texas on the NABL network. I'm back here live at Cedar Valley College. We are just about to kick off the second half of action. Halftime festivities have concluded. Tired me out just watching those folks. I believe, what was that, Zumba? It was something I'm not very good at. But we are so happy that you are here in what has been a surprising outcome of a first half here in the NABL championship game, live from Cedar Valley College in Dallas, Texas. The Atlanta show, after a very back and forth close first quarter through about 9 minutes, with 3 minutes to play, the show took off and stormed out to, at one point, 20-point lead. And as we stand now, it is 73-59 with the second half just about to get underway. The Atlanta show up big, 14-point lead on the Dallas Hoyas. Oh, to be on the fly on the wall of the Hoyas locker room. It'll be Hoyas ball to start as LaDarren Williams gets us underway. Inbounds the ball to Bruce Barron, and we're back at it here for the NABL championship game. 1 half to play before we crown the first ever NABL champion. Jarvis Bradley, no good on the inside shot. And here come the Atlanta show back the other way. Juwan Burden over to Josh Montgomery. Montgomery drives the lane on Bruce Barron, and he works the left side to get it off the glass. 75-59. Lead back up to 16. Bruce Barron loses the handle on the ball. Josh Montgomery doing some early damage here in the second quarter. A quick 4 points, and this is not how Paul Parker wanted these Hoyas to start things off. Bruce Barron slowing things down, kicking it over to C.J. Carter, who's living life with 4 fouls right now. Zach Downing down underneath to Jarvis Bradley, who spins his way free. Spins the ball a little too much off the rim and may have spun his ankle a little bit in the process. Norm Stewart fakes a shot from the corner, gets a free look, and whoa, you talk about left free and open, it's Bernard Parks. But on the rebound attempt, it goes off the body of Bruce Barron. And the Hoyas need to get their head in the game if they're going to get back into it. Atlanta show ball, inbounded from the baseline, 10:55. Just underway here in the third quarter, 77-59, Atlanta show. And likewise, Juwan Burden completely loses the ball. Maybe they should start checking that thing to see if it's coated in jelly. Back to the Hoyas. C.J. Carter on the left wing. He wants a pick set up by LaDarren Williams. DeMario Black guarding. And he gets it. Trying to find a lane. Josh Montgomery there, good on the pickup defense. Zach Downing. Long range shot. It looks good. It is just a little bit short off the front of the rim. 10.5 left to go in the third quarter. 77-59. 18-point lead for the show. And a travel called on Bernard Parks on his way to the basket. So some early miscues for both sides here to begin the second half. 10-20 and ticking in the third. Inside pass tipped by a handful of players, and it ultimately ends up in the hands of Bernard Parks. Josh Montgomery way downtown, and that one falls off the front iron. As David Kessler stands up, arms outstretched, asking his team, what exactly are we doing? Long range shot from the corner, no good, and out of bounds off the Hoyas. 77-59. Hoyas down by 18. Largest deficit so far that they are experiencing in the NABL's postseason. Norm Stewart back over to Bernard Parks. Bernard Parks attacking to his left. And that's going to be a foul called on the Dallas Hoyas' Ladarian Williams. Dallas foul number 25, Ladarian Williams. Inbounds pass. DeMario Black along the baseline. Tries to kick it out, and it goes right to C.J. Carter. C.J. Carter, he's all alone in a sea of yellow. Puts up a prayer, and it doesn't go in. But kudos to the 10-point jump, Olympic style, of Josh Montgomery clearing the Hoyas bench. That was it was quite a hurdle. Back underway with 9:20 left to go in the third. Jarvis Bradley underneath, and he does make that one stick. 77-61, 16-point lead by the show. Bernard Parks from the far wing, underneath to Montgomery. Spinning along the baseline, puts too much on that. Misses the rim completely, rebound by C.J. Carter, and it's a 4-on-2. And C.J. keeps it himself down the lane. Here come the Hoyas, 14-point lead. 77-63, Atlanta show. 8:46 left to go in the third. Bernard Parks bobbing and weaving. Whistle on the play and a shooting foul charged to Jarvis Bradley. Dallas shooting foul, number 11, Jarvis Bradley. At the line to shoot two for Atlanta, Bernard Parks. Parks knocks his first one in. Well, as we talked about in the pregame show, as Kevin Ford comes back in for the Hoyas, and he will sub out Jarvis Bradley, who's flirting with some foul trouble. The Hoyas and the show boast the two deepest benches in the entire North American Basketball League. As that one rattles home too. 2 for 2 from the line on that affair for Bernard Parks, 78-63. Leads back up to 15. 8:38 left to play in the third. But the Atlanta show bench, as Kevin Ford tries to make his presence known underneath. Short on the shot. The Atlanta bench has been outplaying the Hoyas bench and doing its damage from beyond the three-point line. C.J. Carter coming the other way. Rainbow shot. He'll pick up the foul. Foul charge to DeMario Black. And Carter will be at the line to sink his first. Well, yesterday it was Atlanta in the comeback role. Talked to Bernard Parks, point guard for the show, after the game, and as they went into halftime trailing to the Austin Knights and didn't turn around the comeback until late in the third, early in the fourth. He said it was a pretty systematic talking to that Coach Kessler gave his team at halftime that really set the basis for the comeback on the Knights. I got a thing just from knowing Paul Parker for the past couple of seasons is a floater by Antoine Hall is no good. That Paul Parker had a little more fire to his breath as Bruce Barron goes from the left side, and that one swirls its way out. Tips into the backcourt, and it's a 2-on-1 to Mario Black. Hits it and lays it in from the left side. Normally it would be a foul opportunity, but C.J. Carter has been in early foul trouble since the first quarter. Zach Downing dishes it down to Kevin Ford, who hooks it in. There you go, big man. So it's 7:14 left to go here in the third quarter. Long range by Norm Stewart, and the Hoyas look stunned. 84-66. 7 minutes flat to play here in the third quarter. Zach Downing trying a hook shot from the right side of his own. No good. Norm Stewart traveling it up. Over to Bernard Parks on the far side. Back to Norm Stewart on the right wing. Stewart backing up, resetting. Bruce Barron defending. Norm Stewart driving the lane, turns around. Antoine Hall, he's a big man, but he will shoot a three-pointer on you. And that's what he sets up right there and sinks it from downtown. Bordering on ugly with a 21-point lead now for the show, 87-66. Long range, Bruce Barron, too much on it. 6:15 left to play in the third. Over to Bernard Parks, thinks about a three, but he gets an open look and a floater that's well short and off the hands of Josh Montgomery underneath. And that's going to be a timeout called. Though C.J. Carter is not moving. Timeout on the floor. Waiting to see who it is charged to, but nonetheless, we continue onward here. Timeout on the floor here from Cedar Valley College. 87-66. 6:06 remaining. It's an officials timeout. There we go. As the trio of Keith Kimball, Johnny Wilkins, and Derek Barnes, your officials from the NABL today for the championship game. So far, by and large, an extremely clean game by two very disciplined and well-coached teams. We had some late-game fireworks in the Atlanta-Austin affair yesterday. Nothing even remotely close to that today, as these two teams are playing like championship contenders that they are, and champions of their respected conferences. 87-66, largest lead of the game so far for the Atlanta show, 21. We're in the third quarter. The risk of this getting away from the Hoyas, 6:06 and now ticking left on the score clock. C.J. Carter walks it to his right side. An ISO play, backs his way into the post, turns around, fadeaway Jay, and that one falls its way in. Beautiful shot. And the altitude that C.J. Carter gets on any jump that he makes for a rebound, dunk, or jump shot, it's fun to watch. 87-68, 19-point lead. And Zach Downing picks up a foul. Dallas foul, number 10, Zach Downing. And with that, Zach Downing will head back to the bench, and Darius Howard comes in. Darius Howard, one of the most versatile players on the Hoyas squad. Can play the point guard position all the way down, honestly, to the power forward. And the officials are resetting the shot clock. Back to 14. It'll be Atlanta show ball, and Bernard Parks looks for an outlet on the inbound. Back to Antoine Hall, who gives and goes to Norm Stewart, all alone from beyond the arc, ripping the cords. 90-68. Atlanta Show tearing it up from beyond the arc. Slipping on a spin attempt, but on the fadeaway baseline, C.J. Carter. And with 5:02 left to go in the third, it is a 20-point Atlanta lead, 90-70. .452 left to play in the third. All alone once again, Demario Black. And the perimeter defense for the Hoyas is failing and leaking like a colander. 93-70. Largest point differential now in the game. Atlanta Show up by 23. C.J. Carter, though, a one-man band from 20, knocks it in, 93-72. 4:20 left to go until the fourth quarter begins. Bernard Parks, pull up from behind three. Why not? It's all been going in. Short on the shot and off the hands of C.J. Carter on the way out of bounds. It'll remain Atlanta ball. As you can see, C.J. Carter not that happy with the call by the officials. But it's falling on deaf ears as far as C.J. Carter is concerned. Pull up Jay from the corner from on the arc. And that even raises the eyebrows of some of the officials there. 96-72. 4:02 left remaining as the ball flies out of bounds off the fingertips of Antoine Hall. And that'll stop things as the Hoyas try to catch their breath a little bit and try to catch their free fall from getting any deeper. Down by 24, 96-72. C.J. Carter off the back iron, no good, but tipped out on the rebound by Kevin Ford, and it ends up in Bruce Barron's hand. Over to Darius Howard. He can do it beyond the arc, and he does, rattling the three home. 96-75, 21-point advantage for the show. 3:35 left to go in the third quarter. Driving the lane is Bernard Parks, but he runs into Kevin Ford, and that leaves open Josh Montgomery. He does his damage from the right side. Darius Howard walking it up the far side. Stifling defense by Demario Black, but the pick by Kevin Ford, and off the foot of Darius Howard. Boy, when the ball is just not bouncing your way, that kind of thing will happen. And it's happened frequently today for the Hoyas. C.J. Carter reluctantly comes out for Paul Parker. And into the game for the Hoyas, Kevin Thomas. 3:10 left to go in the third. 98-75, Atlanta Show. Putting on a clinic from beyond the arc. Demario Black falling away. Drains it, rips the cords. 101-75. 26-point lead. And the dish from Bruce Barron is fed in by Kevin Ford. 101-77. Well, the Hoyas flirting right now with, let's just make this respectable, folks. Antoine Hall from beyond the arc. Well, when your game plan consists of shooting, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's got to be well over 60% from beyond the arc as Bruce Barron drives to the right side of the lane to put one in for the Hoyas. They will trade twos for threes all day long. Out of bounds. No, not out of bounds. Saved by Kevin Thomas of the Hoyas, and that's saved on the errant pass by Norm Stewart. Backed away, and we've got a mismatch on defense. Demario Black beyond the arc, and this oven is on fire. That is the Atlanta Show. Timeout, Dallas Hoyas. Timeout, Hoyas. Our coverage of the NABL Championship game is brought to you by 805 Stats, and the NABL Network. Thank you so much for watching today. The NABL Championship Final at NABLlive.com. No one saw this coming. With 2 minutes remaining left to go here in the third quarter, the Atlanta Show putting on a show, 107-79. They lead big over the Dallas Hoyas. Long range from beyond the arc. That helps. Darius Howard on the left wing. A Paul Parker called timeout. Tried to stop the bleeding a little bit as the show could do no wrong. It was a video game, Steph Curry-like from beyond the arc. Josh Montgomery looking for somewhere to go. Finds the outlet into Mario Black, who's been on fire, and he hits nothing, including the net. 107-82, Hoyas ball with 1:23 left to go. And Bernard Parks is either went back to the locker room or is walking off what appears to be a cramp. .105 left to go. LaDarren Williams stripped by Norm Stewart, and that'll stop the clock with 1:02. And the ball will shift back to possession to the Atlanta Show. 107-82. 25-point advantage for the Eastern Conference champions, looking to maintain their season of perfection. 14-0 on this season after the win over the Austin Knights yesterday. Trying to make it a clean 15-0. Eastern Conference championships under their belt. Coach of the Year honors for head coach David Kessler. Bernard Parks, NABL MVP runner-up. And 101, 1 minute. Under a minute left to play here in the third quarter. Burden with Howard on defense. Jawan Burden tries it from three, and that rolls off the back of the backboard and off the top of the rim. Rebound by LaDarren Williams. Tossed over to Antonio Burns. Antonio Burns drives the lane. Terrence Sion from the right side knocks it in. 32 points, 32 ticks left on the clock. 107-82 here in the third quarter. .8 differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And that is null and void as the shot clock goes dead. Kevin Thomas picks up a foul. And that'll send Corey Zachary to the line. Dallas Hoyas foul. Number 2, Kevin Thomas. At the line for Atlanta, Corey Zachary. And sometimes things just bounce your way no matter what you do. And that free throw is almost a microcosm of the game today for the Atlanta Show. Off target on the free throw, but somehow finds its way to the bottom of the net. 108-84, trying to extend the lead already, and Corey Zachary, lane violation. He knew that was going to be short almost as it left his hands. 108-84. 20 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter. Darius Howard scoops up the inbound. Might try 2 for 1 or save for the last shot. 20-foot J, no good from the elbow. Just beyond it, but rebound by Terrence Sion. Good hustle. 8 seconds left to go in the third. 6-5 from long range. Darius Howard knocks it down from three-point land. 108-87 Hoyas. And that'll do it for 3. Heading into the fourth quarter, the Atlanta Show up 108-87 over the Dallas Hoyas. Fourth quarter coming up here on the NABL Network. Heading into the fourth quarter of action. Your score, the Atlanta Show 108, Dallas Hoyas 87. A reminder, fans, at the conclusion of this game, don't go anywhere. Don't leave your seats. We will be presenting at center court the NABL Championship Trophy to the victor of today's contest. Be there to witness history as we crown for the very first time the champion of the North American Basketball League. Well, the trio of officials from the NABL, Keith Kimball, Johnny Wilkins, and Derek Barnes, simultaneously in unison blow their whistles to signal the start of the final frame of regulation. And heading into it, it's an uphill climb for the Hoyas to mount. I might steal a line from Al Michaels if somehow they complete this comeback, because at that point, yeah, you'd have to believe in miracles. 108-87, 21-point advantage for the Atlanta show, and it will be Atlanta ball as we kick off the fourth quarter. Live from the court and campus of Cedar Valley College in Dallas, Texas. Thank you for tuning into this one today, the NABL Championship game. The culmination of an NABL Championship series as Antoine Hall tries to knock another three down, and that one finds its way out of the nets. Loose ball foul, actually a fight for the rebound. That's going to be called on Dallas. Yes, Darius Howard of the Dallas Hoyas. Dallas foul number 12, Darius Howard. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. 108-87. Hoyas down big to the Atlanta show. Bernard Parks, good to see back into the game after what looks like he was addressing a hamstring issue. A beautiful spin move, but no payoff as gravity didn't fall their direction this time. Darius Howard back on the other end. Screen set up, but poked away by Bernard Parks. Collected once again by Howard, but that rolls out of bounds on an attempt to pass it to Jarvis Bradley. And C.J. Carter once back in the game for the Hoyas. Norm Stewart over to Antoine Hall. Hall's had a really good game from behind the three-point stripe. Bernard Parks, 10 on the shot clock. Parks motioning his offense down underneath the Hall, and on the attempted steal by Jarvis Bradley leaves Hall wide open for a open look to the basket. 110-87. Terrence Cyron with a 20-foot baseline J. Count that one in. 110-89. Atlanta show with the lead and with the ball. 10:37 and ticking here in the fourth quarter. For the Atlanta show, they hope will be the final quarter of what would be a perfect 15-0 season. Count exhibition play, it would be 17-0. Antoine Hall, no good from inside the stripe. Shot clock violation. Not called, but on the save attempt by Norm Stewart, his foot traveled on the sideline stripe. 110-89, Atlanta up. Inbound pass. Darius Howard, once again traveling up the court. To his right side. Bounce pass underneath to Derek Fain. Can't make it good off the back glass. Here come the show the other direction. And they have been living life from beyond the arc today. Once again, Norm Stewart showing how it's done. Some slapping on the hardwood from the Atlanta show bench. Derek Fain underneath, count that one in off the glass. 113-91. And once again, the two teams are trading twos for threes, with Atlanta show being the benefactor of the shots beyond the stripe. Driving the lane and lofting one in. That one finally rolls its way through for Bernard Parks. On a very suspenseful motion swirling action of the ball. Driving the lane, C.J. Carter, and he will pick up the penalty. Norm Stewart charged with a shooting foul. Atlanta shooting foul number 15, Norm Stewart. At the line for the Hoyas, C.J. Carter. So C.J. Carter will take a pair of attempts from the charity stripe. Rolls his first one in. Two for two from the stripe for C.J. Carter, who got in foul trouble very early in the game. Picked up 4 fouls in the first quarter, but since has kept his record clean. Long shot, no good by Norm Stewart, and David Kessler's a little bit tired, as you can tell on the bench of the three-point show. Darius Howard from the left side, making the effort count. And bit by bit, the Hoyas trying to dig their way back. Down by 20. Josh Montgomery, fake out on LaDarren Williams. Oh my. 117-95. 8:38 left to play in regulation. C.J. Carter over to Darius Howard, who's had a hot hand as of late. He's going to try it again. Short on the three-ball attempt. Nobody there from the Hoyas to collect it, and it goes right back to Bernard Parks. Bouncing pass to Antoine Hall. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Fist bumps abound in those wearing yellow. 8:10 left to play in the fourth. 120-95. And a steal, and Demario Black. Free look. Part 2. No good on either attempt from beyond the arc. And a timeout by the Hoyas. Timeout, Hoyas. Well, a quick 20-second timeout from Paul Parker, who not only sees the writing on the wall at this point, but also sees the score brightly displayed on the scoreboard. 120-95, Atlanta up right now by 25. It was a closely contested first quarter for most of the way, and in the final couple of minutes before the second quarter hit, Atlanta started taking off, and they were doing it by way using the three-point line as their tarmac. Launching, raining down the triples. And that onslaught has not stopped. Even through the last attempts by Demario Black there. 7:53 left to play in the fourth quarter. Stranger things have happened, certainly. Even this season alone in the NABL. But not against a team as such, the likes of the Atlanta Show. Driving the lane, back into the game is Bruce Barron, but he's short on the layup. And he takes a hard tumble behind the baseline. Bruce Barron still not up yet. Bouncing pass to Antoine Hall, who tips it off the glass, and we will have a stoppage of play for Bruce Barron, who's collecting himself and now has regained his footing and heading back into the game. Zach Downing back in for the Hoyas. Derek Fain back in for the Hoyas. Stop sinks with 7:38 left to go. As all are trying to reset. And crew chief Keith Kimball trying to get things underway, but a little bit on the court maintenance after the Bruce Barron fall, drying up the court. 7:37. And that is exactly how Atlanta has acted in this game, taken off like one. 122-95 at this point in the fourth quarter. What a display of offense by the Show. Show up and show out is their motto, as the underneath dish down the lane was ill-advised and picked off and intercepted by Norm Stewart, who takes it coast to coast and rolls it off the iron and in. 124-95. Bounce pass underneath. That one is picked up by Demario Black. And a call of a kick ball. And Norm Stewart picks up a loose ball foul on the Atlanta Show. And that will mercifully give the ball back to the Hoyas. Atlanta foul number 15 at Norm Stewart's. Over the kickball, my mistake. 7 minutes even. Left to play in regulation. Slowing it down a little bit. Bernard Parks. Over to Antoine Hall. Jarvis Bradley in defense. Antoine Hall looking to open a lane. He takes a shot from beyond the arc again, and Antoine Hall has had an excellent effort from behind the stripe today. On the inbound, intercepted by Demario Black, and on the way down, fouled by Kevin Thomas, who largely was just standing there, but still, Demario Black earns possession and earns the foul. 6:35 left to go in the fourth quarter. 127-95, Atlanta. And continued court maintenance. Stay tuned here to NABLlive.com and the NABL network as the championship trophy sitting high atop the rafters here at the court of Cedar Valley College will be bestowed, if things remain as they are, to either the Atlanta show, or in fairness, certainly the Dallas Hoyas as well, as the first ever NABL champion. Bernard Parks dishes it in to the corner of Norm Stewart's. Over to Antoine Hall. Back to Norm Stewart. Norm Stewart finds an open shot from 20, but finds an even more open Antoine Hall from the side. Rolls off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound by Zach Downing. 6:22 and ticking in the fourth quarter as time is running out on the Hoyas. Long range in and out. No good for the three ball from Zach Downing and a long range pass. 2-on-1 opportunity. And all alone is Josh Montgomery underneath. Atlanta is hot, Atlanta, indeed. 129-95. Just a few ticks over 6 minutes left in regulation. Bounce pass underneath. As the ball was collected by Demario Black and wedged like a vice in between his legs, as Corey Zachary lets everybody in the parking lot know that he is coming in for the Atlanta show. Hey, extra points for enthusiasm. 5:56 left to go in the fourth quarter, as this is now the cleanest court in all of the DFW area. 129-95. Atlanta show. Darius Howard will inbound. Hoyas with a bit of a shocked look on their faces. Inbounds pass to Bruce Barron. LaDarren Williams, bounce pass underneath from 20. Darius Howard in and out, but a rebound by Terrence Sion collected. And that's tipped away by Bernard Parks, but Alonzo Butler is there. And falling back is Antoine Hall. Josh Montgomery, one bounce pass. Almost a beautiful assist play to Bernard Parks on the receiving end of that, but just a little too much steam on that pass. Here come the Hoyas back the other way. 5:35 left to go in the fourth. Darius Howard on the long pass. Terrence Sion ends up with it. Terrence Sion from the post. Turns around, spins it in. 129-97. 5:16 left to go. I think you'd have to look long and hard as LaDarren Williams turns it around and slamming it with a one-hand jam is Terrence Sion. 5 minutes even left to play in regulation. 129-99. If you're playing at home, yes, that is an even 30 points. And a timeout called on the floor. Atlanta show up 129-99. And David Kessler, the '2016 NABL Coach of the Year, continues to coach his team with a 30-point lead with just 5 left to play in regulation. 5 minutes away from completing the perfect season of 15-0 and completing the goal of the chip and their quest of the NABL championship. Well, on this week's edition of the Backcourt on the NABL Network, NABL Radio, I'll be bringing you behind-the-scenes footage and audio and interviews with the players, coaches, and the commissioner from this NABL Championship Series weekend, including these NABL Championship Finals. We'll look for the Backcourt to appear at NABLbasketball.com. And a hard foul. Bruce Barron on Corey Zachary, and Zachary heads to the line. Well, Darren Williams gets credit for the foul. Dallas foul, shooting foul, number 25, LaDarren Williams. At the line for Atlanta, Corey Zachary. 129-99. An even 30-point lead as commissioner of the NABL, C. Travis Johnson, starts making his way from his perch in the stands and down the court as Corey Zachary sinks his first. He will be, Commissioner Johnson, bestowing the sizable Crystal Ball NABL trophy. So at this point, it looks like the Atlanta show at the conclusion of this game. Zachary good on both, driving the baseline, but falling is Terrence Sion in a fight for the ball collected by Antoine Hall. He's going to go the other way on a 2-on-1. A little too much and a smack in the mouth, falling to the baseline. Zachary up, but Antoine Hall now back up. And a lofting shot from the corner for three is Darius Howard, amassing a good point total personally on today's game. But 4:20 left to play in the fourth, 131-102. 29-point advantage for the Atlanta show. Show up and show out from the lane, no good. Bernard Parks. Darius Howard to Bruce Barron. Fade away, Jay, no good, and that falls right into Corey Zachary's hands. Long football style pass to Bernard Parks. Count that for a touchdown nearly. 133-102. 3:42 left to go in regulation. Terrence Sion with a two-hand stuff. 133-104. Atlanta show. Norm Stewart sinks it from downtown as the barrage of three-pointers continues. Darius Howard, sized up by Josh Montgomery. Going once again underneath the Terrence Sion, and he is fouled on the way up. Norm Stewart charged with the shooting foul, and that'll send Terrence Sion to the line. Atlanta show shooting foul, number 15, Norm Stewart. At the line for Dallas, Terrence Sion. Well, as we say, and quite literally at this point, it is mop-up duty. With 3:10 left to play in the fourth quarter. 136-104. Terrence Sion trying to make it an even 30-point deficit. But off the back iron, no good. And for the first time today, we see Chase Salazar walking in. Defensive point guard extraordinaire. And that'll be it for Bruce Barron. His efforts today, it looks like, as he gets a round of applause from his Hoyas teammates. No good on the second attempt by Sion from the line. 136-104, it remains Atlanta show. 3 minutes even. Terrence Sion pick off the pass, and he'll drive the lane charging the lane. Dallas foul number 5. Offensive foul. Charge of Terrence Sion. And into the game, getting their first minutes of action, is Montario Moore, number 44 on your screen, and Devon Pierce, number 2. So, getting rounds of applause from the show bench is Antoine Hall and Corey Zachary. One can only assume that is it for them for the 2015-2016 season. 2:45 left on the clock in the fourth. 136-104. Pull up three-pointer. Good. Count it again as the tray rains down for Bernard Parks. Salazar walking it up the court from the left side to his left. He's going to try a three, and he banks one down. 2:20 and ticking. 139-107. We're in the style points portion of our program, ladies and gentlemen. Rebound off the tip pass by Chase Salazar, and that one is well short. Had some, I believe, interferences in transition. Alonzo Butler was behind him. And into the game for the Hoyas. Alonzo Butler comes back in. And Ryan Montoya will see his first action of this game. Likewise for the Atlanta show, Chavis Ross and the big man standing at 6'9", 250, Chris Hampton comes into the game for the Atlanta show. Long range. When you can do no wrong, you can do it blindfolded. Bernard Parks, 145 as the chance from MVP from the Atlanta side start to ring out. Darius Howard with a three ball of his own. 142-110. Playing for stats and for pride at this point as a double team by the Hoyas. Alonzo Butler and Terrence Sion pays dividends. Alonzo Butler called on the travel, a step too many. .122 left on the scoreboard. 142-110. Long range shot. Steph Curry would have scoffed at the length of that three-pointer. Oh my. Darius Howard tries to answer. That's off the back iron, no good. And the whistle blows. Clock frozen at 1:02. Into the game for LaDarren Williams. That'll do it for his 2016 campaign. Here comes in Kevin Thomas. And the first minutes of the game, Brian Rutledge. But you hear the noise, and rightly so. From the Atlanta show bench, Bernard Parks plays his last seconds of play. 1 minute, last minute of regulation. Final moments of play for Bernard Parks on a heck of a 2016 campaign, and he ended it with an exclamation point. A flurry of shots from behind the arc. Inside the final minutes of what has been a stellar, historic, inaugural North American Basketball League season. Ball out of bounds remains in Hoya's possession off the fingertips of Montario Moore. 39 seconds and ticking. Darius Howard pulls it up, no good, bounces high and off the fingertips and out of bounds of Devon Pierce. Correction off the final touch of Ryan Montoya, so it'll remain Atlanta show ball. Difference of about 6 seconds between the shot and game clock. Inside the final 30 seconds of the NABL's inaugural year. Over to Chris Hampton. Long range shot, well off the mark. 17 seconds. Bounce pass in. Shot clock dead. Darius Howard walking the floor. Up to the right side along the baseline. Bounces the ball back out and out of bounds. And that may be the last time that the Hoyas see the ball in this 2016 season. Well, for the Hoyas, they'll end up 11-4 on the season overall. Their second loss to the Atlanta show this year. Of course, they matched up in Atlanta 11-5. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Your final, 145 Atlanta, 110 Dallas Hoyas. The Atlanta show are your champions of the North American Basketball League. Coming up, the presentation of the NABL trophy. All ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, your final here from the NABL championship game. The Atlanta show 145. The Dallas Hoyas 110. Ladies and gentlemen, the Atlanta show, your champions of the 2016 NABL season. Two, 1-2. Our coverage here of the North American Basketball League continues at NABLlive.com and the NABL Network. 145-110, your final score as the Atlanta show complete the NABL's regular season and perfect season. And Commissioner C. Travis Johnson right there naming Atlanta show point guard number 21 Bernard Parks the NABL Finals MVP. With quite the statuesque trophy, I might add. Well, our congratulations, Bernard. Not only, and boy, you talk about a laundry list of accomplishments this season. We're talking Eastern Conference Championship, 15-0, perfect season in the NABL, not to mention your Coach of the Year, David Kessler, and now an NABL championship and championship MVP, Bernard Parks. I'm just going to hand it to you, my friend. Your thoughts, your feelings on behalf of your teammates.
Hey, I just want to thank all my teammates for pushing me hard. You know, without them, I wouldn't have this or, I wouldn't be here. So, hey, I can't get it done by myself, and I push them hard, I go hard in practice with them. I get on them, encourage them to get better. And they push me to get better. And, hey, without that coaching staff, I still wouldn't be able to do nothing. So I just want to thank them, and especially our support system, the fans back home, the ones that came down. Hey, just much love. Well appreciated.
Well, and they're watching live at NABLlive.com and the NABL Network as well, too. So, yes, a lot of hi moms right there as well, too. Well, let's talk about this ball game just a little bit, too. And I want to bring in Coach Kessler here in just a minute as well. But a 145-110 victory. First of all, what were you guys doing from beyond the arc today? I mean, I don't know the final percentages on there, but the 3-ball was the money ball for the Atlanta show. Show up and show out indeed, right?
Hey, yes, it was. I mean, I told them when we walked in the locker room, I said, just be ready to score, and let's defend. And that's what we did. We came out, hit shots that we was missing yesterday, and we didn't keep it close. So, hey, that's just what it was.
Well, there you go. A runaway dominating win to complete the perfect season for the Atlanta show. And congratulations, already an MVP candidate for the league, but NABL Championship Series Finals MVP, Bernard Parks of the Atlanta show. In our NABL Championship Finals post-game coverage continues here, and I'd like to bring back on Commissioner Johnson back to the floor.
First of all, I would like to congratulate the Atlanta show on the amazing season, 15-0, and season 16-0.
And right here, Commissioner Johnson presenting the NABL Championship Trophy to head coach and his assistant coaches, David Kessler, Rod Kirshner, Chuck Melito. The perfect season has been completed. Here live at NABLlive.com and the NABL network. You talk about a clean sweep of trophies for this season for the Atlanta show, who made the long trip to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and will be leaving with some extra carry-on baggage on their flights back to Georgia. Well, I got to talk to the coach. Coach Kessler, you know, we were talking before the awards ceremony last night at the NABL reception that it's kind of hard to predict going into a game like today what might happen. I don't know if anybody saw this coming other than those wearing the yellow today on the Atlanta bench. 145-110 victory. Congratulations on the culmination of an amazing storybook season.
Thank you so much, Ken. It's way bigger than we could ever imagine, and we're just, again, blessed and honored to be in this league to begin with, and to be able to pull off this accomplishment is it's just amazing. And these guys, that's fantastic, you know.
Talk a little bit about the game plan coming out. I mean, I know it changed along the way, too. The game was pretty back and forth. It was close there. You maintained the advantage from the jump pretty much, but until about 3 minutes left in the first quarter, it was a tightly contested ball game between you and the Hoyas.
Right, and like you said, you know, nobody really expected it to turn out the way, you know, this much of a margin. You know, we figured it was going to be a close ball game, all right. And, you know, we just, when we came down here to Dallas, we came with a mission, and these guys have been focused all year long. And, you know, we're probably known as an offensive team, but we pride ourselves on our defense, too. And that's a big part of our game plan, you know, was just to defend because, you know, we feel like we know we're going to score. But just like I said, blessed and honored to be where we are right now.
How is it to have never, as a franchise, experienced anything in the L loss column?
I'll tell you, it's going to take a little bit of time to sink in, I believe, because, yes, I've been in this thing a long, long time and never had anything like this. But as I said earlier, right here, that's where the credit lies.
Well, congratulations on a truly perfect season. First ever NABL champions. To the entire Atlanta show, guys, you have some extra carry-on baggage on the way back in the form of some pretty heavy, nicely made trophies. Congratulations. And thank you to the fans of the NABL in this inaugural season who have been with us every single step of the way throughout this first year of the North American Basketball League. Exciting plans coming up, as certainly Commissioner Johnson and his front office will be working on for the 2017 season of the NABL. Congratulations once again to the Atlanta Show, the Dallas Hoyas, all of the Final Four teams, Savannah Cavaliers, Austin Knights, and the entire roster of teams, owners, and franchises in the North American Basketball League. Thank you so much for being a part of the Championship Series weekend and the finals today. Once again, the final here from the court at Cedar Valley College. The Atlanta Show win the NABL Championship 145 to 110 over the Dallas Hoyas. My name is Ken Buckner. Thank you so much.